I know. Not what you're used to seeing, right? You look over there and you say, that's not an action figure. It's a Gundam. Yes, it's a perfect grade Gundam. The first one I've ever built, to be exact. And I wanted to take the time to give this a proper review in a sense of, does it hold up in 2024? Does something like this compare to modern, or not even compare to modern perfect grades, but does it hold up as a valuable build, and does it still hold the value of its price tag?
Box contents.
For the box specifications, included are 3 manuals, and they're pretty dope. So like, as you see here first, you get just a kind of like guide of basically what the suit is, a little backstory of how they designed it, and where it's from, obviously from Gundam Seed. So that's dope. You're then given a whole manual book that's just dedicated to the Skygrasper and the Ale Striker. Dope. I think that's cool. I mean, granted, there's other ways to go about it, but it's very helpful and helped me understand things. I like the way they separated it. You're given the typical Gundam manual for the Gundam. It's a hefty book, I will say. So like, I built this throughout probably like a week. It was a lot, maybe 2 weeks. I don't remember. Other included box items would be the decals, the stickers. You get a pair of dry rub. I actually don't mind dry transfer decals. They can be a little finicky when they're the older ones. So like, especially when I was doing the master grade RX-78, like the 1.0, or yeah, I guess the 1.0. That one was I couldn't get any of the decals to like transfer. They would just kind of rub off halfway. But I do enjoy dry transfer. The wet ones, they can be a little frustrating at times. I do them, but they can be frustrating. I hate just normal stickers, but you do get a normal sticker sheet. The problem I have with them is like, they're impossible to put on. I just suck putting stickers on, no matter if it's toys, figures, anything. If it Legos, if it involves stickers, I'm not going to do it correctly.
The build.
So, if we're talking about just the build, I'm torn, because I have a background of building a good amount of high grades, real grades, and master grades throughout the years. So going into this, especially experience building like kits from around this same time period anyway, like it just kind of felt like a blown up master grade of this point, maybe like a higher end master grade of that time period. So it's not like it was like the hardest thing to grasp. I will say some things about the build that kind of threw me off were in the legs. There were like a metal bracing or some sort of bar that was put in the upper leg. I'm assuming for extra strength, because maybe that could be a weak point if it's just plastic. It was cool putting that in there. Some things like putting the LED together, it's very frustrating to do like small tedious things like that. So if you have issues doing that kind of stuff, just warning you, you don't even have to do it if you don't want to include it. You could essentially put your own LED rig in there and build it yourself. It's sometimes easier. They don't include the batteries for that, which is kind of annoying, because that is a really obscure battery. I don't think I can find that in a store. Maybe. Some other things that bother me, or not bother me, or about the build that make me... So, pieces feel loose, but not when the thing is completely together. So there are no pieces of armor or inner plating that I felt were like loose that would just fall off for the Gundam just standing still. But when I'm building and it doesn't have the surrounding piece to go over it or go around it or go next to it, pieces tend to fall off. Like there were parts of the inner frame that were like really weird to me. Like there were just free form pieces just kind of in there that ended up like having no real support until another piece came like half a page later. And I'm like, all right, I mean, I guess that's how we're doing this. But it worked out in the end. I got what they were going for. I just feel like in terms of the build, there are a lot of lengths they went to just for like maybe that being the pinnacle of what they could accomplish in 2004. So now that technology's advanced a lot of ways, you can do a lot more with a lot less pieces. So in that case, I don't see something as that like that being as complicated or needed in newer kits. But this is my first perfect grade, so I can't really attest to anything like that. I do have an admiration for the hydraulic cylinders on the chest, the legs, and arm inner frames. I think that's a very nice inclusion, and the fact that they're pre-painted is also nice as well. The inner frame on this kit did actually, like I said, for 2005, I believe this came out, it's like the pinnacle of what building a model kit in 2005 would be. So the build is, if, like I said this earlier, if you've built any master grade, perfect grade, well, not perfect grade, any master grade from that era, you'll see similarities in how some of the things are done, just kind of blown up in the sense of scale.
Build complications.
Alright, so if we're going to go over build issues, be warned. Since this is a kit from 2005, one of the most common issues I've run into with older model kits are the plastic being very brittle. It does not take a lot of strength, because I will tell you. So the leg features this gimmick where the armor pieces pull out and extend and you can see the inner frame on the calf. Well, the problem with that is I lifted it up and I think it got stuck and it came off. So I went to put it back on and I guess I pushed down too hard and the connector end completely snapped off. I tried gluing it, it wouldn't stay. So I learned that the piece will still stay, it just won't do the outstanding gimmick. There were some parts of the inner frame that I started seeing stress marks on, but I didn't worry because as I put more pieces around it, because this is one of those like build around kind of models, it started to feel more sturdy and I was not as worried. But I was a little worried about bending some of its inner working. So I will say be a little bit less rough-handed with the plastic. Me, because I sometimes I don't care. Like, I should care because this kit is like, what, like $230 or something like that? But I don't. Like, I just don't really take care of these because I have so many at this point. I'm like, I'm not going to break this completely, and if I do, there's a way to fix it somehow. Or I'm just going to hope it's not a critical part to the build. Oh, another thing I broke was the Grand Slam sword. So that was frustrating. I did not do anything with that. So it has a gimmick to it where it opens and closes. What I did mistakenly was, not even mistakenly, I just pulled it up with my thumb slowly, and it just snapped right off at the handle. So because of that, I had to glue it. And it's holding, it's fine. I probably should have put like a piece in the middle to reinforce it, but like I don't really build anymore and I don't have any of my like extra edition, like, you know, customizing tools out, and I don't really feel like taking them out because this was just like a spur of the moment. Oh, I feel like building a Gundam. It's been like 6 months. Why not? So yeah, I just kind of did a quick fix. So it is not the sturdiest and probably will break again, but I don't plan on posing him with it. So as long as it's held together, I'm fine. Other than that, I don't really have any other issues with the build per se. Like, it's not bad. It's just, if you're not experienced with older plastic, and like, if this is your first Gundam kit altogether, but your first Gundam kit should not be a perfect grade anyway, so if you're watching this, I hope this is not for recommendation on your first Gundam, but more so your first perfect grade, because that's kind of what that is. This is my first perfect grade, and it's more so just me trying to let you know if I find this kit worth it in 2024. Yes, the year is about to end, but a lot of people looking at perfect grades and looking at what's affordable or what's catches their eye. Me, I am a big fan of Gundam Seed. I know a lot of people don't like it, but after the original, well, Zeta is my favorite. It goes Zeta, the original, and Wing is my third, but I would say after is Seed because I like the designs. It's not even like the show of Seed. I really just like the designs for the mechs. They're nice. So like and especially like a striker.
Articulation.
So for articulation, you have great outward motion with the arm. It does a bend all the way up. It's really nice. I don't believe it's double jointed, but you do get a good range if you lift up the armor as well. And it does have a feature that makes it extend up. head has about what you see in the video here is about the level of articulation for the head, unfortunately, because it's blocked by those two parts. You get a good side-to-side swivel with the chest, great bend at the knee with features that allow for the legs to pull down. You know, typical locking gimmicks of that period where, like, you could hold one leg higher or both legs down at the same time. I don't actually remember which one of it is, because I was kind of just breezing through this just to get it done, because this was a time-consuming project for me. I think it took me about 2 weeks, just because I didn't really have the energy to build every day anyway. The skirt has great articulation. All of the pieces go up. The legs go all the way back, and they also go pretty much the same forward. It has pretty good articulation. So, like, I don't think you expect this Gundam to be, like, obviously modern standards articulation, but for a kit this big, I also don't know what kind of articulation to expect as well, because it is very heavy and sturdy. So what it is able to accomplish at this size, I am not disappointed in. It is done very well. And when you see the leg bend, you do also see a nice, like, transition of the armor pieces sliding up. I do like that, and I do miss some Gundams that don't have that feature. Get great bend at the leg and a great forward motion. Like, it's honestly fantastic for this time. Feet articulation sports something like having a open-closed kind of like clamshelling where the toe can bend in. It's okay. I do like how the arm allows features since how it's built. There's like a multi-joint construction that allows extra mobility. It really lets you bend the lower arm really far up, and that's why you were able to get the arm basically all the way up to the shoulder like that. I mean, honestly, some modern model kits don't have this level of detail and articulation. So, and even figures. So like that, I do commend them for that.
Accessories.
As far as accessories, you're given a beam rifle. It's pretty dope, accurate. You're given a shield with an actual direct view shutter feature. I think that's fire. You're given 2 foldable knives that can be stored in the armor kit. That's very convenient. You have the LED setup. The instructions explain how to build it. It can be a little confusing. You get a PG size Skygrasper. That's fire. And it has a transparent canopy, which is dope. Swappable landing gear. I don't use it. I should, but I don't. And you have movable hatchets, which is, like I said, a dope feature to have. The Ale Striker pack, obviously. You get a display stand, which I don't know if I set up right, or if I did, I don't know how to really use it, but it's dope to have. And you get 2 beam sabers and the beam effects. As mentioned in the previous section, I did break the Grand Slam sword. I'm very frustrated about it, but I was able to do a quick fix, and so it's still presentable as an accessory. Just won't be used. As far as gimmicks go, the shoulders have open and extending parts where you can pull out and lift up, obviously to fit other parts of the striker packs and whatnot. So that's a cool feature to have on there. The calves, like I was saying, have that leg extension thing where the armor pulls out, and that's where I happen to have snapped one of the little arms, like the mouth to it, that would hold it in so it could pull itself out. You also have a open and locking feature on the arm to put the shield in. I honestly wished a lot of master grades had this, because some of their shields are very flimsy and don't really stay on with the little connectors that they usually give master grades, or used to give master grades. You can include this as a gimmick. The cockpit obviously opens and closes so you can see your pilot inside. I always like these features. I think they're neat. I think some modern kits are kind of missing that, and it's always a great addition.
Final thoughts.
Let's see. I mean, if we're talking about my honest opinion of this model kit, I will say for any experienced builder, this is a good recommendation. For someone looking for their first Gundam altogether, no, I would recommend a high grade or a very simple or older master grade. Like, my final thoughts. It's really hard because, like, I loved this build. I thought it was very, like, not taxing. It didn't feel overcomplicated, didn't feel confusing or outdated. It was very straightforward and got to the point. Some of the techniques were a little off to me, but maybe that was just my inexperience with building a perfect grade. But if I'm going off the affordability of this kit, compared to most of the modern perfect grades I'd seen online, they were closer to $400. And at this point in my game, or in the game, I don't know if I'm willing to spend $400 on a Gundam, whereas maybe if this was 2 years ago I would, but I'm more interested in spending that on a figure, so I can't justify myself getting the newer ones. But if you're looking at it from the standpoint of someone who is tight on money but still wants to experience a perfect grade, then yeah, then this is that like perfect, I guess, foray into perfect grades. It's like you get a taste of it. You can say you've built a perfect grade. You can have one to display, but you don't really have to super break your bank. So I think I paid about like $230, $240 for it. I think around the time it was going between, it depends on the site, between $180 to $199 to about average on model kit sites though. It's going for like $240, $250. You can get it cheaper on other places, like $180, but you're going to pay the same for shipping, so you might as well just get it from a more reputable place anyway. When I'm buying Gundams, I usually go to the same couple people. It's usually, trust me, I don't get paid for any of this, so it's not like I'm saying it because they're going to swing me anything. I just mainly because these are the Gundams sites I trust, mainly Gundam Planet, and if I can't find anything, I go to Amazon as a last resort because some of the stock on some of the other, and I used to do Galactic Toys a lot just because they had a little bit more different of a selection, and I was more into collecting older kits at the time. So yeah, Big Bad obviously is always good. I mean, I'm not going to tell you where to get your Gundam because like I said, I don't feel like that's my place, but where I will say is it's going around like $220. That's not a bad pricing for a model kit that includes a perfect grade Gundam. You get a perfect grade size Skygrasper and Ailstrike like pack that I don't, that like there's literally like 3 different instructions, and honestly why it took me so long to finish, because I had to break it down into, okay, this 2 weeks I'll focus on the model kit, then this week I'll build the, and actually at that point once I finished the model kit, I was like, if I start the Ailstrike, I gotta do this Grasper. So I think it might have took me 2 weeks to build everything collectively, because I did go into I want to build this quickly mode when I started building it. So I might say I finished the model in at least a week and then procrastinated on finishing the other 2. So yeah, it was about a 2-week build. But my final thoughts, I really enjoy this model kit. I really enjoyed like I said, I'm a very big fan of C designs. There's nothing here that doesn't really scream by me.
Would you recommend this model kit?
As I mentioned, the price, the fact that it's basically 3 model kits in one box, and there's a lot of runners. Recommendation, I can really only recommend this kit for someone who's looking to get their first perfect grade. Yes, it might use outdated methods to reach results newer model kits can reach with maybe less plastic or fewer parts doing odd motions and positions. I mean, it still has a lot better articulation and just detail than a lot of modern kits to this day. And obviously, like I said before, some figures don't even have this level of detail. You know, it does have things that are kind of outdated and people aren't a fan of anymore, like polycaps. They can wear down and become weak at time. Everyone knows what happens with those. The instructions are very simple, besides 1 or 2 parts I mentioned, but being a more common issue for that time, it's kind of not something that I look at and go, that's going to stop me from buying it. So yes, if you're looking for your first Gundam and if you're looking for your first perfect grade Gundam and you don't want to break the bank, but you still want to experience a perfect grade, then yes, I can recommend this kit. But if you're looking for your first Gundam or your first non-high grade and you're trying to jump, you're like, I don't want to do master grade, I want this Ailstriker, but I'm going to go only have it in perfect grade. Well, I'm going to get the perfect grade. No. Only if you're looking for your first perfect grade and you don't want to break the bank do I recommend this kit. Anyway, thank you for watching. If you have any other questions or thoughts on the video, please leave them down below. Like, share, subscribe. Anything helps me grow. I'm just going to keep coming with content for you guys, and I hope you enjoy it. Peace out. Yeah, I'm reviewing this Gundam. What's up, son? I got the Gundam, and I get them, and I dump them, and I pump them. with the pump action. Yeah, we hitting some action. About to divide you like a fraction. You a distraction. I'm disappearing like Michael Jackson. Ooh, moonwalking the sax fifth. Ooh. I can't rap, guys. I'm sorry if I've made your ears bleed. Peace out again. On the road again. Wow. Can you believe we made it to the end of this video? I mean, who needs Netflix when you've got entertainment like this? If you enjoyed this video, please do me a favor and destroy that like button. And hey, if you're feeling generous, why not hit the share button and spread the love? Bye!